All right, everybody, the Texas Longhorns are going to be facing off against the TCU Horned Lizards. Now, I'm calling them a horned lizard because no such thing as a horned frog exists in the state of Texas, and you can go look that up. Now, even their website acknowledges it. Now, so the TCU Horned Lizards are going to be hosting Texas. It's going to be a night game. We'll go ahead and get some of those information stuff up right here on the side. But we'll just start off with the obvious. You got Quinn Ewers come back. Not only Quinn Ewers, you got Jalen Catalon come back. And I believe, per Steve Sarkisian, everybody's healthy. I'm not sure if everybody is good to go, but we're either very close or everybody's going to be playing. So this is going to be the first time in a long while, really since Kansas, that we've seen this Texas team this healthy, and that's going to probably pay dividends for Texas. Now they are running. I believe TCU has announced they are running with Hoover. They did a similar graphic that we did for Quinn Ewers. It was like literally just a blatant copy of what we did. Great social media work from TCU, as always. And if you didn't pick up on that was sarcasm. Now, so without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop right on into the season prediction. TCU game prediction. And then we'll kind of preview the game at first, then we'll go into predictions afterwards. I said that backwards. So let's go ahead and hop right on into the preview part. And here we are, and let's go ahead and start right off. All right, I was on the wrong screen here, but we're on the right screen to start the preview. That other screen is going to come and play in just a second. You'll find out why. But so obviously what you're going to see is this Texas offense. You look at the numbers, top 25. Now, third down conversion could be better. Fourth down conversion, pretty good. Red zone scoring, as we know, could be better. And that's just this number right here is total red zone scoring. Now, what's interesting is we used to be a very good red zone scoring team, but we've gone for it so often where we're not even thinking about the field goal, and we don't make it that often. This number has really fallen. This is not the touchdown percent number. If you want to go let me give you the touchdown percent number real quick. So there it is. Obviously, not a good number to be having. It's this that went away. It's the blue one right here. And it's specifically this number, 45.95. We're 126th in the nation as far as how often we turn a red zone trip into a touchdown. So that is not something that's good to see. Y'all are probably going to wonder where TCU is. They're right here at 101. They're not a good red zone team as well. And also, the other thing is they're not getting a lot of field goals. So they're just really, like when you talk about overall red zone, probably shows on the other one, 127th in the nation, but they're really not, 128th right here. They're really not good in the red zone. And that's going to bode very well for Texas. But we're kind of jumping over to the TCU offense. Let's finish with the Texas offense in general. TCU's defense, they're not a bad defense, but they're not a good defense. They're just pretty mid, and they're going to allow a lot of yards per game. They're going to allow an efficient offense, but you can see right here, it's just consistently in that 60 to 50 range. They're really mid on defense, and it's going to be interesting. Now, Texas, this has been the case multiple times where Texas has not only had the win on, we win on paper, but then we go out there and we start hot. We either start hot or we start just completely bad, and we let teams either catch up or we just end up blowing them out at the end. So it'll be interesting to see. Can Texas finally play 4 full quarters? This would be a great place to start. Now, the TCU offense, going over to them, they're getting a ton of yards. But they're not converting it to points. And they're also not efficient. They're 80th in the nation as far as points per play, so that's on a per-play basis. And then also yards per play. This is what's interesting is they're getting a lot more plays because their efficiency doesn't match up with what their yards per game numbers offers. Third down conversion, this is a team that's going to be good on third downs. I mentioned in the red zone, they're bad. They're just as bad as when you talk about scoring touchdowns. Texas, just in case you were wondering, as far as the allowing touchdowns goes, we're one of the best teams in the nation as far as red zone defense and not allowing touchdowns. Could be better, but you know what? This is for October. Just go ahead and do it for all games, and then it really gets to be a lot better. We're third in the nation as far as just allowing touchdowns goes. Total scores, it gets even better. Texas is number one. Or not number one. We're number 2 behind the sign-stealing Michigan team, so maybe we are number 1. Maybe we are number 1, depending on how you want to look at that. But, so that being said, Texas defense, all the gripe that people have for Pete Kwiatkowski and the pass game and all that stuff, and we'll talk about that in a second. All the gripes that you can have about this is third down conversions. This is going to be a good battle to watch. They're a good third down team on offense. They're a good third down team on defense. I mentioned that I don't think we're going to let them score often in the red zone, at least. They're going to have to get their passing plays. They're going to have to get some long, explosive plays, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But so Texas, we're probably going to be one of the best defenses they've seen all year long so far. So I mentioned the explosive plays that TCU is going to need to have, and you can see right here, 10-plus yard plays, man, they're looking pretty good. They're 4th in the nation. Texas is, we're down here a little bit, but we're actually. Look, hold on. This is a great example of sometimes you can. Where are we? Hold on. Let me pause and so we don't. Okay. Well, we're right here. So 27th in the nation. So TCU looks to be better than us, right? Okay. Well, when you get to like actual explosive plays, which is 20-plus yard plays, Texas 23rd, pretty consistent where we are, but it starts to TCU, they're down. I don't know, they're right here in 49th. And then when you go even further, 30-plus yard plays, again, Texas, pretty consistent. We're still consistently having those long plays. This is where you start to see TCU really start to taper off. It's just, they're going to need more of these plays. Okay? The plays that they've had only 3 times all year long, they're going to need more of those against Texas, because you're not going to score on us once you get into the red zone. So inside that 20-yard area, really 30-plus yard area, that's where TCU is going to want to get those plays, and they haven't gotten them for whatever reason. I just think it goes to show inefficiency on offense. The overall numbers may look good, like their passing yards. Pass yards per game is going to be one of the best in the nation. But that's because they're throwing the ball 43 times. And then here's the crazy thing. Over the last few months, it's even more. And I say over the last few months, over the last few weeks. You look at November, already only 1 week though. 52 passes per game, so one game with 52 passes. That was the most in the nation. Then you go here, they're really airing the ball out a lot. So obviously, yes, passing numbers are going to look good, but efficiency and just overall yards numbers are going to look good. But yeah, they're going to need those long plays to survive against Texas. Now, so moving on to the rushing game, this is where Texas, I think we're going to get them. Yards per rush, we're one of the best rushing teams in the nation. And TCU they got problems. So if you go and you look at, I had it right here, yeah. Over the last month, in the month of October, TCU have not been a good rushing defense. And in fact, they've been one of the worst. 5.3 yards per carry. Really 5.4 if you were to, round up. That's way worse than what their number 4.1 yards per carry. That's 1.4 yards per carry more. 1.3. This is where Texas is going to get them. They have to be a better run defense than what they've shown, not only all year long, but in the last few months, or I keep saying few months, in the last few weeks. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. Yards per rush, they've been a good, efficient rushing offense. So it's not like a deal where they can only pass the football. They're getting rushing yards. They're getting yards per rush. That's not happening this week. They're going up against one of the best rushing defenses in the country. Uh, and not only on, like, when you look at rushing defense, and you look the month of October, Texas, it looks a little weird, okay? But you go to game logs, 30, 14. Really, the BYU game, 95. Most of those yards came in the second half and towards the end. This is a rush defense that has been playing out of the... They had a bad game to Oklahoma. Dylan Gabriel had some free yards at the end, and that pissed them off. I'm telling you right now, most of the game for BYU, we were actually holding them to negative rushing yards. Not most of the game. Early on in the game, in the first half, we were like, it was like in the second quarter, it's like, oh my God, they have BYU has negative rushing yards. What is this team doing? This Texas defense, specifically in the run game, TCU is not going to have any success there. If they have success there, I would be very surprised. And I will come and eat all the crow in the world on this. Now, Texas versus TCU in the passing game. Texas having Quinn Ewers back, completion percentage I believe is going to be high. Yards per pass, depending on, I think Worthy's going to get loose once or twice versus TCU. I think he's going to have a lot of yards after catch. I do think that they're going to try and hit a pass to AD. To try and get some confidence to Quinn Ewers, reinsert him back into the game. Dial up a shot early on maybe. I could see that definitely happening. I think this is going to be a good day in passing for us. And yeah, it's just a mid defense. They're not getting a lot of interceptions. Texas, especially under Quinn Ewers, is not throwing a lot of interceptions. They're not sacking the quarterback a lot. Texas isn't allowing a lot of sacks. It does show a little bit worse, but I'm talking about the tackles specifically. Our tackles. Christian Jones and Kelvin Banks are doing the damn thing. And I expect that to continue. Now, the passing game for TCU. So I mentioned they're not getting a lot of explosive plays. This is where we can't allow it to happen. They've had 16 plays where it's at 30 yards or more. We cannot allow them to have any more than that. We just gotta hold tight. And I don't think we need to be pressing at all. I tend to agree with what Steve Sarkisian said in his press conference where he's talking about, hey, look, when we're up 21 points, we're up 17 points, teams are going to pass the ball up. There's going to be a lot of passing yards. It's not the defense's fault that the offense handed the ball to Kansas State at the 12-yard line, at the 32-yard line, at the 40-something yard line. That's not their fault. Now, they let them score, right? But if you look at that, a lot of those scores came on one play, 2 plays, 3 plays. So it was very much like, oh crap, wait, I got to get on the field, I got to throw my helmet on, and then boom, oh crap, they already scored. What the hell? There was no, you could say maybe we need to focus on that coaching-wise. I hope they did. As far as focusing and getting, when you get thrust into something right now, okay, be ready. There's that aspect that we need to be talking about, but overall, I'm not worried. What I'm more worried about is the offense not holding a lead. Because at the end of the day, I know I say that a lot, but if you have a lead and you give up that lead, it's not all on the defense. How have you given up a 21-17 point lead where you're not scoring? Because even if you hit a 3-point field goal, that's just that much more of a kick in the nuts to the other team. Okay, now we got to add on another. So say they scored a touchdown and you kick a field goal, they've only lessened the margin by 4 points. That touchdown doesn't feel like a touchdown anymore. And the more you do that, the more it feels like an insurmountable obstacle to overcome. But when you're turning the football over, and giving them short field. I just I don't place that game at all on the. I know this isn't this is a preview of TCU and not a review of Kansas State, but I feel like it plays into this game because you're going to see a lot of passing yards from TCU, and I think that should 100% be expected. And I also don't think it's an issue if we see that as well. But the one thing that they're going to do is they're going to throw interceptions. You see this. They're 105th in the nation in both not getting the ball picked off on defense and throwing interceptions on offense. Texas is going to get – we should have Jalen Catalon back. Or no, we will have Jalen Catalon back. We will have Keaton Crawford back. Our defensive backfield is healthy for the first time in who knows how long. Really, since Kansas, maybe even before Kansas, if Ryan Watts had a little bit of an issue before that. This should be a good game. I think there's going to be interceptions thrown. I think Jalen Ford is a guy that you could watch for an interception. And I want to see Ethan Burke just keep it up. Because Ethan Burke, man, he has been, you want to talk about a player for Texas. Well, first off, Jahdae Barron, how do you do? Well, we'll go to you in just a second. Where are we at? Ethan Burke right here. Okay. Let's get to the game log. Started off hot. Back-to-back games with a sack. And then now he did not play in BYU, but sack versus Houston, 2 sacks versus Kansas State. He's really heating up. I mean, they were honestly probably even holding him too. Now, when you go to Jahdae Barron, this dude's a monster. It doesn't show like only 3 passes broken up. Tackles for loss is really where he shines, but he hasn't had a lot of chances. But I think that goes to show how much of a threat he is. Teams like early on, they let it happen, Alabama, but I think teams have started to respect Jahdae Barron, and it's the play for Ethan Burke where he got a strip sack fumble. That doesn't happen without Jahdae Barron. You go and listen to Steve Sarkisian, he talks about it. Jahdae Barron makes Howard clutch the pass, and then he gets strip sacked as a result of it. So, Jahdae Barron playing out of his mind right now. Some really good football. And we'll go into the prediction part of this on now. So, be right back. All right, everybody. So, like I said, we're going to be doing the prediction part now. Now, if you remember last week, I showed you some underdog stuff. If you followed this stuff, okay? Come on. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. We're really close. 5 picks. Jatavian Sanders did not have a touchdown. Worthy did not have a touchdown. But my other slip was way better. We were 17 yards off from Jonathan Brooks. So I almost did the rushing yard. If I had done the rushing yards, I would have had a slip that would have done $560. So it sucks, right, to be that close. But hey, you know what? We're close, and we've been close. I've been doing the player props I've been pretty much on the money when we're talking about player props. So we're going to be getting into that, and we're going to right now. And like I said, Underdog Fantasy Football, best place to do this. Now, if you want to do this and have some fun, go do your first dollar-for-dollar deposit and get the code NASH. Well, use code NASH for your first dollar-for-dollar deposit and get 100% of that money that you put in deposit back. So I'm butchering what I'm saying. Basically, what I'm saying is you're going to get doubled. You put in $10, you're getting $20. You put in $100, there's going to be $200 in your account. They're going to match whatever you put in the first time, your first deposit. So $100 deposit, they're going to match you $100. And go do that. It's anything between $10 and $100, they will match. So use code NASH for your first deposit on Underdog, and it does help out a lot. I really do appreciate it. So Quinn Ewers, starting off with him, okay? First week back, I got him having 16 completions on 21 attempts, 275 yards, so 13 yards per attempt, a good healthy day through the air, 325 yards. So Here's something. Again, the second week in a row, man. Me and Vegas, we're right there. We're melting on the minds, man. Okay, so I'm not. I feel like I'm not going to be touching that, right? You could see that happen with the touchdown. I'm not touching the passing yards because we're like it. I have 275 yards as my number. Technically, go on the under on that one. Was looking great on my Will Howard slip, but that one, that did not turn out to be nice. Interceptions, I don't think he's going to throw an interception. I'm not touching this. 22.5 completions. Okay, so they have a lot more completions. They have a lot more attempts than I do. I'm almost, you know what? This feels like a lock to me. Because I don't think Texas is going to be playing from behind. I think with his arm injury, him come back, this is something that you're going to see. I'm going with the lower. I'm going to stick with that. I think that's a really safe bet. We'll save some of these little spicy chili things for later. 101.5 rushing yards. Now, he did just have 112.5 rushing yards. Or 112 rushing yards. This dude has absolutely been on a tear. 26.5 receiving yards, 133.5 combined. Last week he did not have a lot of receptions. He had one reception that, man, if he had that and it wasn't called back for a false start or a block or whatever it was, a hold. First off, he hits that slip and we're sitting here with $560 more in our pocket. 2 has another reception, but wouldn't have hit 3 receptions. But he has been getting a lot of receptions recently. I don't know. I'm going on the higher on the... Oh, no, didn't mean that. Going on the higher on the rushing attempts because he has been rushing the football. You cannot see it here, but 20 attempts, 16 attempts, and 22 attempts in the last weeks. The 16 attempt week, he had to pull himself out of the game. He had a hurt shoulder. C.J. Baxter, 41.5 rushing yards. I almost want to hit higher on that, but I'm gonna hold off on this for right now. I'm going to hold off on this because I think we're going to get some better ones later on. Adonai Mitchell, his receiving yards is going up. Jordan Whittington, 2.5 receptions. Worthy. So here's what I'm going to do. Because I got Worthy, 10 catches, 175 yards. I'm going to go over on the receptions. No, I'm going to go over on the yards because I think he can get this in one. I think he can get this number in one play. Worthy has that potential every single day. I do think he's going to have higher than 5.5 receptions, so 6 receptions, but I'm just going to stick with that. You know what? I'm going to take a Jatavian Sanders. Yeah, it will allow me. I'm only at 4. Reminder, you have to have one from every team that you do. So you can't have 5 picks from the same team. You have to have one from both sides. So I'm going to go with and it doesn't have to be a TCU guy. If you got a USC lock that you want, do that. I'm just sticking with the Texas and TCU theme here. Josh Hoover, 244. Yeah, see, they don't have the passing attempt number out there because this is a guy that he can. It's going to be hard to figure. Like it would be hard to Vegas here, for Vegas to set a number on the passing attempts, and it could be way higher than 55. And I feel like they don't want to put a 60s or 70s number out there. Amani Bailey, I almost called him Mandel Bailey. Amani Bailey, he's their running back. I just don't see a good day for him. I almost want to hit that. I'm going to be looking to see if there's anything else that really, revs the good old engine. I'm going to go with under 66.5 rushing yards for Amani Bailey. Wait, hold on, let me see this. No, you know what? Going under the rushing attempts. Under the rushing attempts. They're going to be passing the ball all day long. So, this is going to be my underdog slip that I'm going to do. Got a $5 slip. That pays up to $175. Got a little bit of multiplier. So Quinn Ewers lower than 34.5 passing attempts. So 34 or under. Jonathan Brooks higher, so 21 or more rushing attempts. That's probably the one that'll get me if I don't get this. Worthy higher than 69 yards receiving. Jatavian Sanders 1 rushing or receiving touchdown. So interesting if he doesn't get if he gets a passing touchdown and a trick play, I'm screwed. And then Amani Bailey, you can't see this, but lower than 15 rushing attempts. So that is my conservative normal one. But if you've been following along the past few weeks, you know we're doing some spicy ones. Quinn Ewers. Oh, hey, Quincent Young right there. He can absolutely get the ball in. There's not a lot of... I'm almost having to... Hold on. You know what? Jalen Robinson. We'll go with you because you can't... I'm not sure if you can see this right here. You can't. But... Hold on, now you can. 7 targets. They're kind of down on receivers. I could see him having a day where he's receiving the ball a lot. I'm going to go with one on that one. J.P. Richardson. What are we talking about here for you? Very similar. Man. And Savion Williams. You know what? No, we're not going to stick with all this. What we're going to do is we're going to take one of yous off. We're going with that one. We're taking that one off. You could not see what I just took off right there, but we're going to have to add something else. And they don't have any spices. They don't got any spices over here, but we're going to spice our way into this, okay? You know what? Give me some spicy. Give me some spicy right there. We're gonna spice our way with the Adonai Mitchell great day on the receiving end. And you know what? Adonai Mitchell would love that. He had a great day with Quinn Ewers. He would love nothing more than having them higher than 56 yards receiving. Yeah, can't speak right now. But at the end of the day, that will give a good payout if it does come true. So. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. Hope we beat the TCU Horned Frogs tomorrow. The Texas men's basketball team is playing right now, and I need to go start recording that. But this has been the TCU Texas preview, or Texas TCU preview. I know some people get triggered for saying the other team first. But at the end of the day, oh well. I know I just said it at the end of the day already. Again, we'll figure out how to stop doing that. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. Hope the Texas Longhorns win tomorrow. And also want to just real quick thank you to all of our veterans that have served our country. And I know Veterans Day is for people who have served. But if you're serving our country currently, I do appreciate you 100%. Got a lot of military background in my family. So really do appreciate all y'all. And enjoy y'all's day tomorrow. All right, everybody. Again, hope you all have a great day. And let's go get a dub in TCU Amon G. Carter, I should say, Fort Worth, and let's leave with a good taste in our mouth. All right, bye. Hook!